Yo, guys, I had to do it to you. I did an hour and a half of NBA predictions and just NBA commentary with my old buddy Jalen. Jalen knows a ton of NBA, and kind of like the first podcast we had on, we just talked about every team, LeBron, Curry, Jimmy Butler, all these different things. So I hope you guys dig it, and thanks for sticking around, and like and subscribe. See ya. What's up, guys? This is The Last House on the Left. This is where I chop it up with my friends, kill time, and speak what's on my mind. Jalen, welcome back, bro.
What's up, man?
We're going to talk some NBA, bro. We are going to hopefully get into a lot of different things, like I said, like we just said like 2 seconds ago. We'll talk Steph and LeBron. We'll talk really there's a lot to go in about the Celtics, the East, coach firings, and then we got you just airdropped a couple like jersey sales, like 2 pictures of jersey sales, and then the playoff bracket. So before that, man, what's new with you? How are the kids? You just went on vacation.
Yeah, man. Kids
Where'd
are
you go
good.
for vacation?
Playa del Carmen in Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Like a nice week. But yeah, then got back at it, stuff like that. So yeah, my kids are doing good. They're almost 3, so.
Jeez, bro.
Got a couple. They were playing outside today, and they were hooping too, so that was cool.
So what age can you sign them up for like what is the
like
word,
actual
MYA
sports
or
and stuff?
yeah, like 5, 6?
Yeah, it's still a couple more years.
Yeah.
Still a couple more
Also,
years.
have you always had glasses?
No. I like to wear these for like my eyes. My allergies are really bad right now because it's
Mine too.
It's like 67 or something right now. So
Yeah, dude, I was
and my eyes are
sweating
like
my
itchy.
butt off. That's the crazy thing. When sometimes I have like we're recording like kind of right after work for me. When I rush home and go take a shower and then come straight here, it's like, dude, my hands, just the boxes themselves in the trucks are filthy and disgusting. I bring this like $5. It's pretty expensive. It's either $5 or $6 of wipes that I just go and I wipe down the steering wheel, like the console, all these different parts of the truck that I'm normally touching because I'm not in the same one every day.
Yeah.
And it's just it's filthy, man. It's bad. So anyways.
Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
man.
Cool. So what was the one other thing I was going to say? At some point I definitely wanted to I'm still up in the air, man, if I'm going to pick on what church I'm going to land at.
Mhm.
I'm still church homeless. That's the word I've been kind of throwing, the phrase I've been throwing around recently and whatever. But how's one church been going and whatnot?
Good, man. Actually, yeah, we've been back the last 2 weeks since I've been home. Actually, we tried to watch it that Sunday when we were in Mexico, like on the online.
Dedication.
But it
a
was
guy.
weird. There's like 2 other one churches out there. There's like one
Really?
in forget where it was, man. I want to say like San Francisco or something.
Huh. You would expect they would have their live
We watched
streams
it too.
everywhere.
We watched the whole live stream. We went to like one church, watched the live stream. It was someone new, and then we were just like, and they started talking about. I think they were from California. We're like, yo, we're watching the wrong church.
Yeah, this ain't it, man.
Yeah.
Where's Pastor Mike?
It was good. It was good. Like they were preaching really good and stuff. So shout out to them.
Yeah, man. Hey, Bible study still stands, man. If you ever have the time, we can always make it happen.
We gotta chop that up at some point.
Yeah. Cool. But so enough of that. NBA. So you're probably, if you disagree with me, totally fine. But I thought it was kind of more of a boring season. What did you think?
I would say the first half.
Yeah.
I think the first half was very negative, I guess. But once the Luka trade happened, like NBA has been pretty big. I mean, the Luka trade happened, which is probably the biggest trade, almost probably the biggest trade in NBA history. I mean,
In history, you
a
think?
25, 26-year-old superstar who, like, if you say right now, like, Luka's going to be a top 10 player of all time, like, at the end of his career, someone from the future tells you that, you're not going to be like, that's you'd be like, I can see that happening. Like, come on. If you look at his stats now compared to like LeBron, Jordan, his first couple years,
I am
they're
aware of
identical.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Super
So he's already
similar.
been in the finals. He's went to the conference finals already in like a tough like. Obviously he's not like perfect. He's not. He's got defensive things, but yeah. I mean, like, tell me another trade that's bigger. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
tough.
The only thing you could throw up there is when KD went to the Warriors. Really.
That
right?
wasn't a trade though. That was a free agent signing.
Oh,
I'm talking like trade.
that's
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So
Fair
that's
enough.
like one franchise says, we're good with you. You have them. And then they send them to the biggest, NBA franchise. Like, the Lakers are the biggest franchise in the league. Like, probably in all sports,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
them, Yankees, Cowboys, Dodgers are getting up there now. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, after that, I feel like the league's been huge. All-Star game definitely wasn't good. I feel like the in-season
Atrocious.
the
Freaking
in-season
atrocious.
tournament didn't really like work. Like, even if I asked you, like, yo, who was the last four teams in the in-season tournament? Like, I don't even know. I think it would the Bucks beat the Thunder, but I don't even like remember the last two.
Didn't the Pacers do something in one of those tournaments? Because I remember their heads got really big.
The Pacers were
they-
in the I think they were in the championship last year. They beat the Bucks to get to the championship against the Lakers. But yeah, like, I don't know. In my opinion, the NBA should reduce the amount of games. I think that'd be make the product better, and also I think start the league, like, push it back. Why would you compete with football, which is you're not going to win that? Why would you compete? I
Good
think
point.
they start in like end of October. Just start in December. Just start in December and then
And
push
played
it back.
60 games.
Yeah, because if you play like 60 games too, every game means more. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you lose in the NBA, if you have 3-game losing streak, your season's not done. But think about football. If you lose in football, obviously football, you're not gonna play 18 games. But if you lose in football twice in a row, like, your season, you're
Yeah.
like, yo.
It's
So,
on the line.
and they make the players want to play more. You know what I mean?
I think the
Biggest
last
reason why they won't, though, is because of money. They
yeah.
lose money. So
I think the last 2 months of the NBA like started to really get interesting. Like, I didn't realize the Rockets were getting hot.
Rockets have been nice, bro. They're deep. They are deep. They got like eight guys that could probably start on teams.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
they're
what I
deep.
hear. And you
And they're
never
all
hear
young,
about
too.
Van Fleet anymore. How's he? Has he like
He's
dropped
alright.
off a little bit or?
No, he's a good starter. His thing though is, I think at the start of the year he was kind of the guy taking like the last 3 minutes. If it was a close game, it was like Van Fleet time, and then that didn't really work for them. So
Yeah, but he did make and once again
he's not that guy. He's not like, he can do it a little bit, but
At the same time, he was that guy. Well, not that guy, but he hit big shots in the finals against the Warriors.
yeah.
won.
But like,
And dude, he's like 6
when
foot.
when he hits shots though, he's doing that off the pass. I mean, off the catch. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like he's dribbling the ball really.
Yeah.
Or like they weren't like, all right, they weren't like run the play, Van Fleet isolation. Like, that was either a Kyle Lowry has the ball in his hands, Kawhi has the ball in his hands, and then somehow someone's doubling, and that leads to Van Fleet having the ball and then being confident taking the shot. He still made the shot, but like, it's not like Van Fleet, here's the ball, go make a play. That's what they were doing at the first half, kind of.
Yeah.
But now it's more Jalen Green, more Sangood, and Thompson. That boy Thompson's nasty.
What is
He's a
his
beast.
game? Who's better, him
Thompson?
or his brother?
The one on Houston's better. Yeah, he's like,
That's
honestly,
Amen, right? Or is Asar on?
Yeah, Amen is the Houston one.
And Asar's on Detroit.
Detroit, yeah. Dude, he honestly, like, think of like Jalen Brown, but like, defense is just like unlocked, like potential, like you know how Jalen Brown D'd up like Luka in the finals.
Yeah.
Like, he was nasty, right?
Why
But
does
this-
he
but
hate Luca so
he
much?
doesn't. I don't think he hates. I think
He goes at him though.
I don't think he hates him, but like, I feel like him and Tatum and a lot of the American players. Come on, like, you got to think like,
You're good.
is it working?
It's a little finicky.
Like,
sorry.
Jalen got drafted, and then the next year was Tatum, and then the next year was Luka's draft, and then everyone's hyping Luka up, like everyone since he got drafted. And so if you're a player, especially an American-born player, like 2 years, you're like, yo, no, I'm that guy. Especially if you're Tatum, but like, you know what I mean? So I think that's where it kind of comes competitiveness and stuff. But like, JB doesn't play like that every game. You know what I mean?
I feel like he does when he plays against Luka. Obviously, also the last couple of years, whenever like the Celtics would go and play in Dallas, Luka would always hit like a game winner. That's like
Yeah.
the last couple of
Yeah,
years, like
yeah,
he hits a
yeah.
game winner on like
Yeah.
every
And
single.
there was another game too. It was 3 or 4 years ago. It was in the Garden. It was KG's jersey retirement night. They beat us at the buzzer too, but it wasn't him. It was Dinwiddie. He hit a buzzer beater. Yeah.
Oh man, I wanted to, dude. I had like, I don't know how many years. When was the last time when Brooklyn was good? Where they had Dinwiddie, they had
Probably like D'Angelo Russell. No.
Yeah.
When they had KD, Kyrie, and Harden, that was 2000.
Well, yeah, I guess
2021.
I'm thinking of that iconic moment. Like this was probably farther back than that. You were right. Originally, I was thinking when like the Nets were terrible, and then they had like the little bit of a bump when it was like Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Dudley. Everybody's like dancing on the sidelines.
They had a
grittying.
good coach too. Their coach.
Who?
Was
What's his name?
Coach Atkinson. He coaches Cleveland now. He's probably gonna win Coach of the Year.
You think so?
He's like that discipline. Like, hey, let's have a culture. We're gonna come in, work hard. Everyone has a role, but like they had fun. You know what I mean? But then what happened is, KD and Kyrie like that, but then they also want like that players coach that they don't want that discipline. So then they forced him out and they brought in Nash.
Yeah,
That's the thing about KD though. Like KD's known as they just fired Budenholzer too. I know we'll get more in the coaches and stuff, but like he just got fired.
Yeah, so we'll get back to that later. I had one up with KD specifically. I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Back to Luka as well. When he gets fired or when he gets let go from Dallas, is it because of his play in the finals? I personally think I'm not going to say I'm a Luka hater. There are other players I hate in the league way more than Luka. I think Luka obviously is an amazing person, great to fans and whatever. Yeah. If you watch, there's this one NBA channel called NBA Players Talking Blank or Talking
a lot of ish.
For 15 minutes. He'll like hit a shot and be like, "Pussy!" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this white guy."
What he did to Gobert? Remember? That step back three he hit on Gobert.
And even
tough,
and you have to think about it. This was the guy who was playing on where like Real Madrid when he comes and plays Westbrook like the Thunder in 16.
Yeah.
Wow. I was It seemed like as soon as he got traded and before he played any games for the Lakers, he's in these conferences, like they're like interviewing him and he's doing all the promo and PR for it. He looks like depressed as all could be.
Dude, you see him cry?
No.
Yeah, he went back to Dallas. They had played Dallas. It was like a couple days ago, and they did a video for him, and he started crying.
Dude, it's funny you mentioned that. I was at the gym, and I'm like, oh, I had no clue that it was a pretty early game because it was 7 p.m. and I looked up. I was like, oh, I can't believe that this game's happening. I'm like, maybe I need to go watch it later. At my parents' house right now, we don't have cable or whatever, so I have to go out and see a game or stream it online, which I'm too lazy to do. Yeah. So you're talking about he was crying because of the reminiscing the memories of Dallas.
No, they so yeah, it was in Dallas. They do like the starting lineups or whatever. They did like the first 4 players. And then Luka is about to be Luka. They did him last, and then they did like a huge 3-minute video. And then they had a camera on him.
Really?
And yeah, he started like, dude, he was definitely crying. Like even after, like then they announced him, and it was like, and Luka, like they announced him like he was a home player. You know what I mean? Crowd goes crazy, and then he finally gets up, like waves to the crowd, and then like goes and daps up his teammates, and like you can tell he's wiping his eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was the reason why they got rid of him? Because there's a couple different narratives that was happening.
No one knows, man. Trust me, no one knows. Like, there's no answer that can justify that.
I feel like there's a couple superstar players that don't get criticism. Like, I think SJ and Luke are at the top of the list where I'm like,
that don't get criticism?
I don't think they get criticism.
Oh, I think Luka has.
Really?
I think
not enough. Think how much Tatum gets, though. Luka's better than Tatum, right?
I mean, he's better offensively.
Sorry, what were you saying before?
But Windhorse, he went at him in the finals. Like he's
being out of shape.
Yeah, not playing defense. How they attacked him. I think that was after Game 3, and
it was atrocious.
Too. He was like, it really. he's like, I really kind of not saw this coming, but like it really was a moment to me that I went at Luca after a finals game, and he's like, no one from Dallas called me and like said, yo, why did you do that? Like they just allowed. He's like, if I go
Yeah.
at anyone else's players, like their front office calls me or someone calls me, he's like, why did you do that? No one from Dallas did anything
Yeah.
because they kind of, you know what I mean? But I don't know. There's a lot of my biggest thing is like if you want to trade Luca, whatever, but all you're gonna get back is Davis, Christie, and a first round pick. Like, why don't you say give me Austin Reeves?
Oh my gosh, that's
Like,
a
why?
great point.
Why wouldn't you? He plays. You could say they play the same position. I guess you know what I mean. Like,
Austin Reeves is gonna be like,
dude, Austin Reeves is great. He's averaging like 20 right now.
yeah,
He's
he
a
is
legit
balling.
number 3 guy.
I remember he had a slow start to the beginning of the season as well. I don't even.
Yeah, he's nice, man.
There's just some players that just like will the ball into the basket. I think like this is for this like nuanced player to bring up, but I always loved Norman Powell. And whenever
He's nice.
I always was so surprised that he could score, and I'm like, this guy's 6'2" and he's dunking, he's Euro stepping.
No, Norman Powell on the Clippers? I don't think he's 6'2".
He's pretty short. He's under 6'4". I'm pretty sure.
I think he's.
Should I look it up?
Yeah, I feel like he's 6'4" at a minimum.
Anyways, I think Reeves. I think a guy like Pritchard. We can get to Pritchard later when we talk about specifically the Celtics.
Yeah.
I don't know because not that it's hard to describe Austin Reeves because he's not the best ball handler. I think he's actually pretty.
He does have
I think his ball handling
He has good handles, man.
Is creative. He has a good behind the back.
Yeah, like he has moves, bro. Like he's got a bag.
It's
and
funny.
He's quick.
This kid from Arkansas just like became. I don't even think he didn't. Was he undrafted?
Reeves? Yeah, man. Yeah, he was undrafted.
Yeah.
And they got him on like a steal too. I think they're paying him like $20 million a year.
Yeah,
like,
I did know he
did. A steal. Like you got Paul George making 50 right now.
Jeez, yeah. Austin Reeves is my age, 26. Well, I'm almost 27.
Which is light too. I mean, it's not like young. Like he is a little bit. He's like in his prime though. You know what I mean?
There's this article that I have right in front of me where it says Austin Reeves talks about his surreal journey of going from trolling LeBron James on the internet as a 12-year-old Kobe fan from Arkansas to now being his longest tenured teammate. Really?
I saw this stat that LeBron has right now played more games with Austin Reeves than Kyrie.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kyrie, and that's his top 20.
Really?
Teammates ever.
LeBron,
guess who number 1 is?
Who?
Zagrunas Sagauskas.
That guy. The tall white. What was he? Serbian? Lithuanian? I have no clue.
I forget, but he did play 1 year in Miami too. He followed him from Cleveland to Miami for 1 year.
And LeBron always needed a cold white boy on his team, don't you know? Or like some like X factor. Because think you have
Mike
Austin
Miller.
Reeves, you had Mike Miller. I guess a cold white boy wouldn't be Dellavedova, but like he did. He did play good defense on Curry, but the Curry was just better.
He did for like 1 game, man. Then he was dead. He sacrificed like 3 years of his life for that game.
Maybe that wasn't as good as a take as I originally thought it was in my head. But I thought there was someone on Cleveland that was also Kevin Love.
Kevin Love, yeah, Kevin Love, yeah.
Yeah. So LeBron always needs some white chocolate in his life. So where were we? So we were talking about. So I think personally, just to wrap up the Luka thing, is that he. Yeah. Once again, I guess the way I see it is him and the whole narrative I thought was nobody's going to be able to guard, like Dallas is coming for the Celtics. The Celtics aren't going to be able to keep all this up, X, Y, and Z. It becomes a gentleman's sweep. I think it could have been a normal sweep, but I just feel like personally
they weren't mature enough to finish that game 4. They were just like, yo, we left here with 1, we're good.
That's what I do. It just bothers me.
And some part of them, too, they wanted to win it at home because of what happened the year before. They lost Game 7 at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a series that they just messed around with, and they had to fight back from down 3-0. And they were actually lucky, too. They got out of Game 6 because D. White had that tip in. They were very lucky. Very lucky. and they played with their food, and so that's what it was kind of like playing with your food, but I think they were that confident. I mean, even so, KP, you remember KP didn't even play Game 3 and Game 4, and KP's like, I'm playing Game 5.
I remember
Like,
it was it Game 5 where he had
Game 1. That's when
no,
he
that
went
was Game 1 where he had
crazy.
20 points or 18 points.
I was there, man, seeing him like, dude,
I
seeing
remember
him
flipping
coming out
out.
of the locker room, like the crowd was, it was crazy. I still, the biggest moment though is probably Pritchard's half court. Like that was,
Ugh.
it was crazy. Like I knew it was happening. I was sitting right next to my wife, and I took out my phone. It's on my Instagram too. You can see I'm recording.
I
him
think you did
coming
show me
in,
this video.
and yeah, I zoom in on him. I'm like, dude, he's gonna do something, and he hits the half quarter. I went to the bathroom after, dude. I don't think I've ever seen like I think it's the happiest bathroom I've ever seen in my life. Like there was just random strangers high fiving people.
Dapping each
People
other
just
up.
people. There were some people who were just chanting like, "We are the champions." Some people were just like, "Hey, shut your mouth! It's not over." I was part of that too. I've been hurt so much as a subject because I was at Game 7 too, the year before when they lost to Miami.
Oh,
Yeah, like I was at Game 6 when they lost to Miami the year before.
funny story. Remember when we played Miami? This is the one where we ended up like Butler had. What year was it? Butler had the transition 3 that he pulled
Game
up and
7,
missed.
that's 2022 when they went to the finals. Yeah.
I was the one who like I knew Butler had the ball and call it stupid enthusiasm or whatever. Or they're like, oh, you can shoot that because I one of the things
Dude,
why I don't
wanted him to
really
shoot it too. When he shot it, after he shot it and we got the rebound, like that half second the ball was in the air, I was petrified. But when we got the rebound, I was like, what an idiot. Why would he do that? That's not his game.
yeah.
Pull up threes, that's not his game.
Yeah, he was feeling good.
He was.
So,
but
this
too
is
cocky,
actually
bro. He would if you drive on now, he's getting that call 98% of the time.
Yeah.
The way that momentum was too, like they were getting all those calls.
I think so. This is a good person I also wanted to talk about. Jimmy Butler used to be one of my favorite players, like even in Miami. Well, obviously,
Chicago probably.
or really
started.
before, yeah, it started in Chicago because I liked him and Kawhi because they were kind of a little bit more of the. I don't know when the league started becoming so, like, forwards that can shoot, play defense, and just like move them around and play every position. I don't know when that started happening.
LeBron. LeBron's
Yeah.
the ultimate one. You know what I mean? If you think about it, like if you think of all those guys who just named, LeBron's been at his peak at every single category, different moments. Like even you think defense, like Kawhi, think about him in Miami. Like he should have been Defensive Player of the Year one time, but they gave it to Gasol. He was a beast. I mean, he was guarding in Miami. He was guarding KG, and then he would the next round or the round before that he would guard like Derrick Rose, like MVP Derrick Rose.
Yeah, that is true. Because he would just do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Obviously, LeBron. That's implied because like LeBron is everyone wants to have that amount of, just the whole superhuman. He's Terminator.
Yeah, he's got the whole.
But
he's
look
got
at
the whole
all the best
package.
players in the league right now are, I would say, like kind of that like hybrid 2-3 forward. Because I don't know, man.
I don't know, but if you think,
I guess
I don't
Jokic
don't
and
agree with that.
Luka.
Yeah, because Jokic was a center. I mean, Giannis. I don't even categorize Giannis as like a forward. Like, cause you can't.
You would put him as like a 5.
Just a big man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean.
He's so mobile that.
And then there's
And he can kind of handle the ball now. So
like Steph, obviously, he's still someone in there. Like I get Tatum, he's your forward, definitely.
I guess the
Embiid, when
the reason-
healthy, he's a big guy.
No.
When healthy though. When
Embiid
healthy.
can suck.
I'm just
it,
shouting
bro.
out names, but like
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't like him. Like I'm
I don't
so
either, yeah.
tired of him. Like he should have been. He could have been better than like Jokic. And I just think for all the smack he talks, I've never really seen him back
He
it
hasn't
up.
gotten to the conference finals once.
Yeah, no,
Once.
he did. He did when remember when they lost to Jimmy or lost to Kawhi's.
That was the second round, bro. The next round,
No, was it?
Toronto played Milwaukee because Milwaukee beat Boston in the second round.
Oh, I thought that was the one that got them into the finals.
Nah. The next round, Toronto played Milwaukee. Because think about it, that was the year Boston had Kyrie. We beat
Yeah.
the Pacers. We swept the Pacers, and then we played Milwaukee.
That photographic memory, man, keeping me in check.
Yeah, but he's never been in the conference finals. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
he's had good teammates too. I mean, if you think about it,
He had Jimmy Butler, J.J. Redick, him. Who was Tobias Harris?
Simmons,
And they had who was the other guy when Jimmy Butler was there?
Tobias. They had T.J. McConnell too.
Is that when they had like old Danny Green?
I don't think they had. Maybe they had Danny then. Nah, not with JJ.
What do you know what year that is? I'm just curious. I want to look up that roster. So
That was
Sixers.
2019. That was the year they had Jimmy.
Yeah,
They
what's
had
the-
Bellinelli, I think, too. Maybe.
the guy
Actually,
from the
no,
Spurs.
maybe Bellinelli was the year before that. Yeah, the year Boston
Oh,
beat them, they had
yeah.
Belly.
Oh, this is where they. Oh, yeah. So is the 2019 roster? It says this is where they had Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons. Still, they had Ben Simmons. That's what I was thinking of. Even though he's, Mike Scott, all that stuff.
Nice, Scott,
Shake
with the
Milton.
emoji tattoos.
Furkan Korkmaz, Bowman. Yeah. Anyways, I
I get what you're saying though. Those type of players, like
once he went to Philly, this narrative started happening where he just told the media, "I don't shoot threes."
who's that?
Butler.
But he didn't really shoot threes in Chicago or Minnesota.
He like Jalen Brown and Kawhi, all three of those dudes came in like not really shooters. They're like defensive guys. I guess Jalen Brown became defensive.
I don't even think
Jalen Brown came out as a
I think
dunker.
Jalen Brown was just like an athlete.
Jalen Brown is who Wiggins should have been.
Is what? Yeah. I mean,
Wiggins was supposed to be
taller though. Wiggins is 6'8". JB's like 6'6". So I mean, if Wiggins think about it, if Wiggins was JB, how he didn't hit his defensive peak though. I would say a couple years ago, like he played great defense on Tatum.
I just hate that he got that Finals MVP.
JB.
Or not Finals MVP. Didn't Wiggins get like the All-Star? He got the All-Star spot, right? One of those years, Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, but it was the year they won it. Yeah, but that was like, think about it. That was like Golden State.
I think he was in the running when when Steph won.
No, he
it.
was an All-Star one year though. He
Yeah.
was, but it was the year they won. But that was also like, I think they Curry was hurt one year, Clay was hurt both years. So that was like their first season. In 2 years they were back.
Yeah.
And I remember they started off like they were like the best team the first like 12 games, which is funny because the best, I think like Phoenix went like 8-1 to start this year.
Yeah.
And they missed the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like so we'll have to get to Phoenix. But so you don't agree that I feel like once he left kind of Philly on bad terms, then he went over to Minnesota, and then he left Minnesota like rightfully so because that
Talking
was
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Jimmy went Minnesota to Philly. He went Chicago.
Isn't that what I said?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I
you
said the
Minnesota.
opposite.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry,
yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
The last couple teams that he's all left with is even like I said, that channel where it's like players talking for X amount of minutes.
Yeah.
You see a couple of these altercations and blow-ups that he has with like Spo and whatever, and it's like bad. It's like you need to effing listen. Like stop being selfish.
Like,
it's not about you. Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy's a dog though. I'll give him that. Like if he was on the Celtics, like I'd ride for Jimmy. Like Jimmy's that guy.
But when he's making this the last finals run though, against his last finals run against the Nuggets, he played terribly and he got no. They're like, "Oh, you made it this far, buddy."
Yeah,
but then I'm like, it's easy when Gabe Vincent and Cody Martin are
Caleb
getting
Martin,
22 at.
Yeah, Bam showed up in that finals, but
Bam's a hard player not to like.
Yeah, I like Bam. Jimmy was nasty though against Milwaukee.
He was.
Like, he was
probably just all spent. But at times
But also too, for in like the Miami Heat's defense though, dude, he doesn't play. He doesn't play as much. Like, why are you tired if you don't play all these games? You can, like, remember that year, the last time they went to the finals, they were the 8th seed.
Yeah.
So like, and Jimmy's not like Tatum, bro. Look at Jimmy's games played. It's like 50, 60. If you play 60, you're missing 22 games.
But look at this though. People would say like when Jimmy in 2022 was doing his thing with Miami, his like last go, or was it 2023?
23. Yeah.
23 because it's 25 now.
Yeah.
Most people would have said, "Oh, Jimmy Butler's better than Tatum," because at the time Jimmy was taking on so much, and he was kicking. He was just doing everything right. Like he was playing. What he doesn't get enough credit for. I think once he got to Miami, is that, dude, all those guys on Miami once again, Vincent, Duncan Robinson. He's leading all these guys, and they're playing at and shooting with total confidence.
But also too, he's got a great coach. And that team has been good at finding talent. Like Gabe Vincent, undrafted. Even look what they did with Hassan Whiteside. Like he was leading the league in blocks. He was getting. I think he was playing in the G League at one point. Duncan Robinson.
He made Strus look good.
Strus too. Celtics let him go for Taco Fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, even Miami now, they got their center, I think Ware, he's gonna be nasty.
He's super tall.
He's gonna be nasty,
yeah.
Bro. He looks like a poor man's Wemby.
Yeah.
If you look at his frame, dude.
I thought the Spurs could have done a little bit better. I thought with Chris Paul and Wemby.
Nah, but they're not going all the way. The Spurs are thinking all right, we added our second star. Let's just, obviously though, what's his name? Wemby got the blood clots, so he didn't play the last 20 games. So they just shut it down.
What was
They're
with
trying
Dame?
to tank.
Yeah, what was with Dame getting
Dame
blood
got
clots
him
too?
Yeah,
I'm a huge Dame Lillard fan, right? Dame and Kawhi are my guys. I've given up on Kawhi early this season, but I saw a couple segments.
I got a Dame thought I want to say, but keep going. Yeah.
So just on the Dame thing, I'm he had a super I guess he was when he was playing, he was making good. He was doing decently well scoring wise, not great shooting percentage, but I felt like I hadn't heard anything or many highlights from
Dame this year.
Dame this year.
No, I think he had a better year this year than last year. But I was thinking about this the other week, a couple weeks ago. But I feel like Dame in the last 10 years is gonna be the most. Actually, no. I feel like if Steph Curry didn't play in the NBA, I feel like the best.
Thank you,
dude. Dame would be looked at as a legend. Because if you ever think about Dame, it's gonna be legit any category. Well, he's not as good as Steph though, for everything he does except maybe dunking. He's a good dunker. But
Dame?
Yeah, Dame can dunk. He was even in the dunk contest. But even the fact I think he's lost to Steph 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think he got swept twice.
Did they get swept by the Drew Holiday Rondo Pelicans, by the way?
Yeah, no.
Or was it a
gentleman's
gentleman's sweep?
Swept. I'll give him the benefit.
I remember I was pretty surprised. That's when
Drew locked him down though.
I always I kind of pushed off Drew Holiday up until until they won.
Me too. I was never a huge believer until that series.
Yeah.
When I was because in Philly, I don't know. I was a huge Iggy guy. So I was always, dude. I always thought Iggy would be so nasty if the big three Celtics with Rondo found a way to get Iguodala. I was it'd be over. Because I knew he'd be what he was on Golden State. He put him on any team. He just fits in, any team, bro. Because he's got no weaknesses. He's not the best outside shooter, but how many dope shots has he hit?
I don't know.
Shots,
yeah,
man.
I would say, dude, that
I
dude
want
hits
Iguodala.
Yeah, Max Kellerman.
Come on, man. Iggy, I think, is so slept on.
No, his only thing was free throws, I think. He didn't shoot well from the free throw line. I always remember, Iguodala's arms were huge, too.
Yeah.
It's he had thighs on his, his upper arm.
Yeah, I loved Iggy's game, but that's what I always thought about for Philly, besides Drew. But, yeah, man, Drew's been interesting this year, too. He's been a little off and on, but I still trust him in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think that's a great point, too, that you said with Dame, is if he did – but that's going to be a stain on his – a little bit of a stain where it's you couldn't get past Steph. Well, I would ask someone this. So how about if Steph didn't have Clay and didn't have KD and then was going up against all these teams, it's do you think he could beat him? That's where even like I know people are gonna say it's the bubble and so it doesn't count. You should have seen Dame when he was playing against the Nuggets and some of these other times where he's.
Oh man, he has two series clinching shots.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Do you know how legendary it is to have one? He has two.
I still don't understand like his. Didn't you think it was so interesting where when him and Westbrook were really, really going at it, and then Dame's like, I take it as a sign of respect.
He got the last laugh. Yeah, he handled it so professionally. He handled it like a good competitor. He never, like Westbrook. There's something about Westbrook that's just like, and I love the way he plays some of the times, but like
Westbrook's in my top 5.
I love
players,
that he's like, he's a dog and shit. Shout out to my brother. That's his favorite player like ever.
Yeah.
But Dame though just handled it differently. Like Westbrook's trying to do the baby and stuff, and Dame's just like, even when he hit the game when he shot, just bye. And because Schroeder was in on it too. Schroeder's that dude. He's just, I'm gonna get in on you. I'm gonna talk shit. He's kind of like a Patrick Beverly,
I kind of
but
like
a German.
Schroeder a little
I
bit.
like Schroeder too. Oh, Schroeder's nice. He wasn't too good on Boston.
Have you
but
seen him when he was playing on Germany? He's playing
Yeah.
like Jesus.
Yeah, man. yeah, he was nasty, but Dame, man, Dame. But I would say defensively though, he's like even Steph's not as bad defensively as Dame.
No, Dame can't play D.
At all.
Absolutely not.
At all. And that was their biggest thing is they had him and CJ. And CJ's just as small as Dame. So.
Yeah, I also thought Dame and CJ they're not physical players.
It's
like
not the perfect,
CJ McCollum too was a finesse guy. I love CJ's jump shot though. If I'm gonna get one more jersey, I'll probably get a Dame one. I was meaning to get one a while ago.
Actually, I got a Dame one. I got a Portland Dame one. Actually, I got it in New York. New York City for my 21st birthday. I was just walking around, dude, and I was like, I want a Dame jersey. I just bought a Dame jersey.
How many jerseys do you have, by the way?
Dude, so many.
Do you know? Do you think you can count?
No, it's not worth it.
Speaking of jerseys, so you think you have
I got NBA, college,
you sent this to me. This is a great thing I thought we could tackle. So these are top selling NBA jerseys. Obviously you see Luka there at number 1. You know, one thing that always cracks me up still, man, is when players leave cities or teams, people are burning the jerseys or whatever. People are burning the Luka jerseys, and I was like, dude, it's not his choice to leave. But he must have been super mad at the management still. I think who's the head of the Dallas? Nico something.
Nico Harrison, yeah.
Nico Harrison, okay.
Yeah.
So Luka at number 1, no surprise there. Steph's still number 2. Wow.
That is kind of surprising. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm surprised LeBron's at 3. Because this is the first year.
It's the Lakers and it's LeBron.
I meant to ask you. I should have asked you this earlier. Well, I guess we're gonna get to LeBron. We're talking about LeBron and stuff right now. But I personally feel this is the first year that LeBron's actually stepping back and they're not running everything through him now.
Dude,
even before Luka came.
This is the first time in LeBron's career, like ever, that he was, from a franchise perspective, he was the number 2 asset. Even in Miami, that was D-Wade's team, you could kind of say, because he was there first. But you would trade, you don't trade LeBron at that time. You know what I mean? And but right now, at the end of the day, when they're making decisions based off Luka now, not off LeBron.
Yeah. So what do you think about? So then we got Tatum, Brunson, Wembanyama at 4, 5, and 6. What do you think about that?
I mean, Tatum just won Finals MVP, championship. Jalen Brunson, Knicks. You know what I mean? That's all that is. I love JB's game, but come on, if LaMelo was on the Knicks, he's number 5. You know what I mean? If any of those players behind them are on the Knicks, they're switching spots, and Jalen Brunson's not even on this list.
Yeah,
that's just a fact.
Yeah. So then 7, Anthony Edwards. 8, Ja.
Ja honestly surprises me. Ja hasn't really done 2 years.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Ja gets actually no, he does get criticism now.
He does.
So he can't even do gun celebrations because of his past, right?
Yeah, but I mean it makes sense. What do you expect, dude? Don't get caught with guns,
dude.
And then don't
but John Wall was throwing up Crip signs, wasn't he?
He got fined though too.
He did. Okay.
Yeah.
That was when I was like in 10th grade.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe Shea Gilgeous is
That
at number 9.
surprises me. That surprises me. Yeah, Shea I thought would be top 5.
Yeah, and then Jokic 10, Giannis 11.
Giannis honestly surprises me too.
Yeah, you think he'd be higher?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Giannis? What's his number? 30?
34.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's Paul Pierce's number, though. LaMelo, 12, KD at 13. Yeah, let's talk about KD for a second.
He's getting traded, so.
Yeah.
What's the team you'd like to see him on? As a fan?
Ooh.
You got destinations.
You thinking East or West?
I would like for him to stay in the West.
Yeah.
The only team I could see him on in the East would be, I guess, the Knicks. But the only
That's
way,
what
the
I'm
only,
thinking
the
too.
only way though they'd have to make that trade would be to trade Bridges. And then why would you do that if you're Phoenix? You just traded Bridges in 5 first-round picks or something for KD. So now you're going to take Bridges back. You're not getting 5 first-round picks with Bridges. Because the Knicks has traded 5 first-round picks to get Bridges. So I just don't think the trade. I don't think it'll happen. But
what if I don't know? Yeah, I would love
any other
KD
East
to the
team,
Knicks.
no.
Or what if like KD and Ja?
So I think if I could see him. I mean, I could see the Grizzlies making a package. I think if he's going somewhere, I think could be Memphis. I think Houston. Houston's my number 1.
Oh,
Number
yeah. 1. So who would they have to give up then?
Honestly, I think you give him anyone you want besides Jalen Green, Sengun, and Thompson. Thompson's your untouchable. You don't trade. Thompson's the number 1 prospect.
I hate how the guy looks and sometimes how he plays, but Sengun can play.
Yeah, you don't trade Sengun. Not for KD, who's 38, and he's a free agent next year. So you only get him for 1 year guaranteed.
But I'm like, I'm not encouraging that people should like start crapping on Durant again, but
That's worthy, man.
What do you think about this take? So, Clippers have been playing well. I don't know what they're. I think they've won. They're 18-3. Their last 21 games or whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, if Kawhi makes another run, which I know there's too many people in the league to follow and keep track of.
If Kawhi, come on, man. This
dude,
hasn't happened since 2019.
Do you remember when people forgot when Kawhi
that was 6 years ago.
when it took out Luka?
6 years
yeah,
ago.
he's been injured for a long time.
When has he gotten through a whole playoff series? Come on.
I know, but
That's like
it's
saying,
hard, dude.
Okay. If you want to play the if game, like, what if LeBron plays like he did in 2008? Like,
I think
about it. What if LeBron plays like he did in 2018? You know what I mean? Like, so many ifs. What if Giannis becomes the best player in the world? Like,
you're so right.
What are the chances of that happening, though? You know what I mean? Yeah. Who are they playing? I think they're playing Denver. I think.
Yeah. So we'll get to our playoff predictions in a minute.
Yeah.
So. We also, I think I said this earlier. What do you think is better for the NBA? Like Steph doing another title run or LeBron?
Definitely LeBron. 100%. Because it's not even because of LeBron. Yeah, it's because of it's Luka.
Hasn't
the Lakers.
Golden State been playing very well though with Jimmy? Like I hate to admit it,
but they're still the 7th seed, so now they got to fight to get in the play. Like yeah, if they did it, yes, that'd be dope. But it's like, okay, they're on a timeline. That timeline is done in like 2-3 years, and then what are they doing? Who are they passing the torch to on that team? The
Brandon Pajemski.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like no one's young on that team versus you have a 26-year-old top 5 player.
Yeah, and Reeves is young.
And not only that, too. Yeah, and Reeves is young. And they're going to get better. That's the sad thing about the Lakers is they don't even have a center right now. They don't have a center.
I know.
Like, Golden State's got a complete team, but, like, the
Lakers
are going to get better next year. Someone's going to go there. People sign with the Lakers for cheap discounts. Like,
yeah. Jackson Hayes averaging 5 fouls a game.
So, yeah, definitely the Lakers.
Who are, like, you mentioned Ware on Miami. Who are some of the young big men coming up besides Şengün and
big guys? That's a good question. I mean, obviously Wemby.
Webben, yeah.
But, I think Clinnigan.
Oh,
he's been
the
pretty
guy on
good.
Cleveland, Mobley. Mobley's really good.
Yeah, Mobley's a beast.
I don't think he plays well when he plays the Celtics, though. There are some guys that just play really well when they play the Celtics. I think Luka was
Mitchell
always one of
does.
them.
Mitchell plays really well.
Mitchell,
I think
Jimmy
Mitchell's
Butler
top.
always did.
I think he's leading. I think he's the number one player points per game against the Celtics.
Oh, and how could I forget Bam? Bam always plays good against the Celtics. He
Yeah.
eats at Al Horford,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Al's even still playing.
And
So-
Al's probably coming back next year. He already says some comment. He's like, I can't wait to guard the Florida's. They just won the.
Yeah,
national
I
championship.
saw him
I
talking
can't wait
about
to
that.
guard that guy next year. So like Al's coming back, but
I love it, man. It's so
If they pay
exciting.
him-
Like
if they
the
pay him-
camaraderie with our team. Yeah, so let's go into the Celtics then. So
yeah. I'm gonna put on a sweatshirt.
yeah, go ahead. So with all of the tumult with like the Celtics, should they be the number one seed? Should they fight for it? You know, it was kind of really decided the top 3 spots in the East like for the last 2 or 3 months. I personally feel like I'm happy at once. I don't want to be spoiled and be arrogant and just say, oh well, we already won a title. We don't have to have the number 1 seed every time. But it's nice to have.
I mean, I don't think it matters. Like at the end of the day, I think they just finished with the best road record ever in NBA history.
And really
So
cool.
they could win on the road.
Yeah. Really cool thing, too, that I haven't heard any star say this. Tatum gets a ton of hate just because he's one of those guys that's like fringe being a superstar, but he's just a little bit, his standards are super, super
I feel
high.
like if you don't consider him a superstar now, it's just like, then who's a superstar?
Well, that's what I say. If you're in the running for
Yeah.
MVP every single year, then.
He's been all NBA 4 straight times. Like if he's not a superstar, then tell me like who is a superstar?
Well, I also don't understand like him winning at such a young age, him and Jalen is crazy. If we're not, so yeah, we had a couple times where we got knocked out. One was by Miami, and then.
But that was like Eastern Conference Finals.
But that's what, so
You know
that's
what I
what I was
mean?
going to
Yeah.
mention. Like whenever we're losing, it's like Eastern Conference Finals or the
Look,
finals.
I mean, Jaw's never been there.
Anthony
Brunson's
Edwards
never
hasn't
been
done
there.
jack.
And he got there last year. I'll give him that. Shea's never been there.
Well, so yeah, so
But Melo's never even been in the playoffs.
a friend of ours, Shane, wanted me to tell you that he said he's been on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for years, and he was
see
talking
that.
about how good the Thunder were last year.
I've liked Shea since the Clippers. Like
Yeah.
I wanted the Celtics to draft him out of Kentucky. Like I really.
How
liked
many
Shea.
years did it take him to get good?
I mean, I personally think he was good on the Clippers. Like he wasn't a give me the ball type of guy, but he was like a defensive just athlete and just like when he made the ball playmaker type stuff. But
Sometimes it's interesting because I'll see like him and Tatum like are super similar, but people don't realize like Tatum is so strong, dude. Like he bullies.
I think Shea and Tatum are completely different. I think so.
Yeah,
Like I saw Shea live.
I think
a month
who's
ago.
a better
He's-
mid-range shooter? Because I don't know. I
That's
feel like
tough.
Shea's a little
'cause I
bit
think
more.
They shoot different type of.
It's
They
interesting.
play
Yeah,
the mid range different. Like Tatum is a post up or just like a face you up Carmelo Anthony.
yes.
Jab step, 2 dribbles to the left, and then pull up in your face. But he's got that high release. Versus Shea isn't really trying to shoot over you. Like obviously he will for.
He's trying to get
he'll
around
post
you, right?
up. Like I saw him against Boston. He was posting up Pritchard, but he's more of a I'm gonna drive and I'm gonna fade to like the left or the right to avoid contact. He's that type of guy. So I think they
Yeah.
get their mid range a little bit different. But
You s-
Shea though is so much. I think the difference between him and Tatum is he is probably one of the best finishers in the league. I mean,
You think Shea
dude,
Gilgeous is?
he is the layups he can make, his touch around the rim. It's not like Kyrie-ness because Kyrie just has the different spins on the ball. But dude, he is every time he drives, he is not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he's got height too. That's the thing. Kyrie's 6'2". He's 6'6".
Yeah, and I've been a little bit outspoken or just very dismissive, to be honest, about Shea, because I'm like, I just want to see it happen in the playoffs,
That's me too. Yeah.
because that hasn't really happened yet. But
That
now
team's
is their
confident,
chance,
bro.
and once
I'll
again,
say that team they're good and they know it, and they're young
Yeah.
too.
they are fun. too. And what I would say once again, I was talking about having like all the forwards that you can switch in and out. Everybody plays defense. Everybody can shoot threes.
Yeah.
Everybody can handle the ball and like arguably run the offense. OKC has like 4 or 5 of those guys, literally.
Yeah. I think the thing with OKC is they're by far the best defensive team in the league. Like, they create so much turnovers. They're active in loose balls. They're active in like, even if you try to pass the ball on the post, like the guy who you're posting up, like he's going for that ball 24/7. They got long defenders too, so when you if you're driving, trying to throw that ball to the corner or something like that, they're trying to steal the ball. They're pressuring you. They'll pick you up full court if you have to. Like, they're annoying to play against. And then when they get turnovers, everyone on the team is 25. So they got athletes, you know what I mean? So they're just running it down.
Also, too, like one thing I don't really people might, or that I don't always realize, is being younger too. You probably don't get injured as much.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
As a team,
but also too, you recover quicker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So the body heals quicker.
So, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head. Who's in the running for like defensive player of the year? I heard Draymond's trying to make another run.
Dude, honestly, defensive player of the year is kind of whack. Like, because
who's in the running?
I think Draymond's the favorite now. But honestly, like, Draymond just started, like, he wasn't like 4 weeks ago, but he just started saying on his podcast, "Why aren't I the favorite?" And then now he became the favorite.
Of
So,
course.
but the thing too, I mean, the best defensive player in the league is Wemby, but you can't vote for Wemby because now you need you need to play like minimum 60 games or 65 games to qualify for any awards. Like, even Luka too. Like, Luka can't qualify for any awards. I don't think Jalen can either now because he missed the last couple games. But I think honestly, I think Dyson Daniels should be in there.
So here it says Draymond, Pritchard, Daniels, Brunson, and Stephon Castle.
No, you're looking up probably the favorites for categories because Stephon Castle's probably rookie of the year. Pritchard's probably 6-man.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, okay, that's a good point. Then what would what would Jalen Brunson be?
He's not gonna win any award.
Yeah, because Draymond Green would be defensive player of the year. Pritchard 6-man, like you said. Stephon Castle rookie. Dyson Daniels.
He should be at least in the top 3. I think that's what they do now. I think they give you the top 3, and then they announce it or something.
Huh. Okay. So
Dyson Daniels averaging like 3 steals per game.
Is he really?
Yeah.
And is he on the Pelicans still?
No, he got traded for DeJounte Murray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
New Orleans is kicking themselves, man. New Orleans they're a dumpster right now. They just fired their GM. Murray tore his ACL, so he's gonna be out for a little bit. CJ's like, he's getting there. He's getting there for age. They got nothing for Brandon Ingram. They should have traded Ingram like last year. They waited.
Where's Ingram now?
Ingram went to Toronto. They got Bruce Brown and they got Kelly Olynyk for him. And like
I did see Kelly Olynyk still trucking around.
Yeah, but I mean, New Orleans, man, they're not looking good. They got some good wings. They got those two, Murphy and
I like Trey
Jones.
Murphy. He can hit some rainbow threes.
Yeah.
That guy can shoot.
Yeah.
Wicked long arms.
That'd be interesting if they got rid of Zion. Because I feel like that you're probably never going to get more value out
So
of him.
what he must have gotten re-hurt, right?
He's like Kawhi. Think about Kawhi. Like, he'll play 10 games and then
I know, but it's tough though. I don't.
So, yeah, man. They're
Kawhi,
they're one of the worst teams in the league this year, the Pelicans. I mean, like, even think about it. Like, why isn't Zion on this? Come on, bro. Zion's one of the biggest college athletes in the last since who?
Yeah.
Like, really think about it. Since who?
Steph. Well, no, because Steph wasn't big in
bigger.
college.
No, Steph was pretty big. Like, I knew about Steph in college just because Davidson, but he wasn't.
I mean,
like
LeBron
Zion.
went to that like big game of his. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since then, I don't.
But because Zion, think about it, Zion's Duke too, so it's the biggest college, or like one of the biggest colleges.
I feel like I know Tatum's draft class was pretty impressive, but
Lonzo.
he was a little undershadowed. I feel like not undershadowed.
Lonzo?
No, Tatum in his.
Yeah, he was hurt though to start
I just remember
his
when he was
rookie-
playing
his
on Duke,
freshman.
I was like, holy hell, this guy doesn't pass. But he's like now a totally
It's
different
funny,
player.
dude. You want to know something sad? That when the Celtics got the third pick, I wanted Josh Jackson over Tatum. I thought he'd be perfect for the Celtics. I pictured this
Really?
like Marcus Smart, Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, Josh Jackson, like all these dope defenders,
Avery
and then just
Bradley.
Isaiah Thomas just taking all the shots. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So, anything regarding the Celtics like that we need to talk about? I know we kind of referenced them a little bit throughout the timeline, but I think we're definitely the favorites to win. I feel confident in the way we play. The one little kind of issue factor that I'm a little worried about is just don't rely on threes too much. We've played Phoenix a couple times at the end of the season. When we went in, this is when they kind of already gave up. But when we went and played in at Phoenix, I was watching this game, and we hit 7 or 8 threes out of the first 10,
yeah,
10 made shots that we had. And it was
yeah. They definitely do rely on the three, but I mean, they made the most. I think they set the record. They set the record for the most threes in a season ever.
Is Missoula pushing threes, or is he just pushing ball movement?
Definitely. I mean, but think about it too. You have, if your starting lineup is Drew Holiday, who was the best corner 3-point shooter last year, Porzingis, who can
Whatever.
shoot from range, like
Porzingis'
range.
threes are what? Dude, he hit a Curry or Dame three.
On the
Who-
Knicks. Against
Yeah, it
Minnesota
was the
Garden.
Knicks. Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
And then you got like Tatum. Tatum can hit step back threes, deep threes. I mean, Tatum can hit anywhere.
Well,
Jalen can hit deep threes too. Like in Derek White. Think about that. All 5 guys can shoot.
I think since when could Derek White shoot off the
He
dribble
changed his jumper.
deep?
Definitely last year. He changed his jumper. He doesn't dip as much. You can tell.
Yeah, it's just kind of
It's a
straight
lot
up.
quicker.
But I'm like, even he's shooting like way behind the line
I
now.
mean, him and then you got Pritchard too. So like, think about those. You have all guys that are like
Hauser.
Hauser,
Like Hauser actually, dude.
Horford too. I mean, Horford can shoot, bro. And think about shoot. If you watch
He
a
had
video
6 threes.
a couple weeks ago in a big game too, like in a big game. I forget who that was against. It was on the road though, I think. But I mean, his shot is so much quicker too. Watch him shoot threes when he was on the Hawks,
Yeah.
and it was long to get that catapult up. But now, man, he catches that and it's just flick. I mean, it's quick, man.
I think, yeah, I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling confident, man. Like, every teams
I
can
would
always.
feel a lot better though if Jalen's healthy.
He's not healthy.
His knee's been messed up for like 2 weeks. They said he had to take some
I
shots
thought it wasn't
and stuff.
serious though.
I mean, even did you see that Knicks game? It was horrible.
No, I
man.
didn't.
He played the first half. I think he was
I
like
just saw the
1 for
highlights.
8 or something. Joe didn't even play him. He played him a couple minutes in the third, and then he didn't play him the rest of the game. It went to overtime. He sat him on the bench,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's played since then. So I mean, he was not his last 5 games.
Excuse me.
He's not been a good player. Honestly, even his year too. Looking at his stats, his 3-point percentage is down, free throws are down, field goals down, points are down. His assists are up, but
But dude, what other team shoots this well from 3? Like OKC definitely does. Apparently the Lakers are doing recently. They've been shooting threes well, but that's the Lakers.
No, I mean the only teams that could beat Boston are OKC and Cleveland. I think.
Yeah.
Not worried about the Knicks. I mean, Pacers play us tough, but I don't think they're getting by Cleveland. Like, I think Cleveland's that good. I think Mitchell is like, this is the best I'm ever going to be. I'm going balls for the wall. I'm doing whatever it takes to win a chip. Mobley is, he could win Defensive Player of the Year.
But I think to play the Celtics though, or to beat a team like the Celtics, you got to have 3 people that can
Dude,
beat
but
you.
Donovan Mitchell is averaging the most points per game ever versus the Celtics. He just passed LeBron. So no one
Why
is
is it?
scoring
Because
more
isn't he
points.
boys with Tatum?
Yeah, but what does that mean? He's holding back?
No,
Like,
no. I've just
You know what I mean? Like, no, he's confident, man. Like, the last game they played them, I mean, that's the one they were down, like, 20. Tatum like an idiot. He's like, out of here.
yeah.
They're up 20 in, like, the first quarter, and then they came back because Mitchell just, dude, the shots he takes, they are like they're like Steph shots, not obviously like Steph, but he takes
Every
step
once in
back
a while,
threes,
he hits
shit
these like
that,
crazy
like
running
great
floaters from the.
Yeah, man, he is, and you see it in his face too, man. He's like, I'm gonna win this game.
Yeah.
So Cleveland's tough, and then I think OKC. I don't think Cleveland believes they can beat us, but I think OKC believes they can beat us because they have to. They beat us
Because
twice
we're the
this year.
team to beat. That's
Yeah, we're the
clear.
champions. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have someone like win, and then you're like, I don't know if they're gonna make it. So,
No.
I think the camera can pick this up. So, Cleveland, they're the number 1 seed in the East, obviously. So they're gonna be playing the winner of the Bulls and the Heat, right?
Nah. So it goes. Tomorrow, the Magic play the Hawks, and then the Warriors play the Grizzlies. So whoever wins gets a 7th seed.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to walk me through this then, and we'll go that way.
So tomorrow it's Magic, Hawks, Warriors, Grizzlies.
Yep.
So if Magic win, they get the 7th seed. If Golden State wins, they get the 7th seed.
I'm gonna say Magic. What do you think?
It's tough because Orlando's banged up, but so is Atlanta. Like
I
they're
hate
not
Trae
great
Young.
teams. They're not great teams. But and then 9 versus 10 play. So whoever loses is out. So if you lose, you go home. Same thing with that round. And then I think it's Friday. So Bulls got home court, but whoever wins that plays the loser of that game.
Oh,
and
right.
then whoever
right.
wins that game plays against Cleveland. Same thing. Then they play against OKC.
Okay, so probably in the 8th spot is gonna be
I mean, if you think most of the time, it's usually whoever loses this game because they get 2 games. Whoever loses.
Yeah, so probably the Hawks then, and then the Magic will be 7th, I think.
I don't know, man. Miami's going to Miami. I think they'll find a way.
I know, but right now, who are the big guns for Miami? You got Adebayo.
Hero. I mean, Bam. Bam hasn't been great this year, but that Ware kid, I said he's nice. They had a couple good. They just
Who are their wings?
They just smoked Boston by like 25. They played great.
Yeah.
The only people I'm worried about Chicago is Chicago's got a lot of good guys, but like Kobe White's like their best player.
Yeah.
They don't have Levine no more. They don't got DeRozan. They got Vooch obviously, but
That guy's washed as hell.
I'm really interested for Lakers Wolves. That's interesting because you got Luka just beat Ant last series.
Yeah.
That's the first time Ant's gonna play against LeBron. And then I think in the East, same thing, 3-6. You got Knicks and Pittsburgh. Detroit's nasty. Detroit, I like Detroit, man.
One of my friends he loves Cade Cunningham.
He
loves
Cade too,
him.
man. I love Cade. If I could pick like one point guard to put on Boston, like Cade might be it.
Really,
bro? Cade
is he pass first though?
Because
he has to score on the Pistons.
I wouldn't say pass first, no, but like he's making the right play. Like think about Tatum. Is Tatum pass first? No, but like does he get triple doubles?
Tatum changed his game though. Like he definitely passes a ton now.
Yeah, but like is he pass first?
No,
you know what I mean. But like, so I'd say
he's
that
passed
Cade.
more more at all this.
Yeah, like Cade doesn't. He's not gonna take dumb shots. I saw Cade is nasty in the post too.
Yeah, he's like 6'8", isn't he? How
I
tall
think
is
he's, like,
Tatum?
6'6".
Everybody's saying like Tatum's 6'10". I'm like,
I think
he's not.
6'10". I think he's 6'10".
Is he really?
Yeah, I think he's 6'10". now. He's definitely 6'9". I think he's easily 6'9". But if you see him next to players that are like 6'10", 6'11", like he's right.
He's right there.
Yeah, so I think he's grown since. I mean, even like, look at a picture of him. Obviously, he's gotten bigger, but
he's as fat. Like, because if he's 6'9" and doing all this stuff, like, because most forwards, like, who's like 6'10" and can actually like move that fluidly?
KD, but
and that's the Tatum comparison, right?
I would
KD.
say Paolo too, though. Paolo can move nicely.
I know, but Tatum's a little bit more fluid. Paolo's getting there. Paolo's like Ben Simmons should have been.
But also what I'll say about Paolo, though, Paolo is like built. Like think about when Tatum, when Tatum went into the league.
He might be stronger than Tatum. He's huge.
I don't think he is right now, but like compared to where Tatum was when he was like 21, because Paolo's only like 21.
Yeah.
Like he's but yeah. Besides that, 6'10", maybe. I mean, MPJ doesn't have like ball handling skills, but
yeah, he can shoot
though. But
um,
nah, that's it. Honestly, Detroit could win. Detroit could beat the Knicks, man.
But then some people are going to say, oh, the Knicks could make it all the way to the
no,
finals.
they haven't. They're like, I think they're 0-10 against
Are they?
Boston, Cleveland, and OKC.
Sheesh.
They haven't beat any of the top teams.
Why is that? Because, dude, they have a good team.
Do they? Though?
Well, that's what
like,
the NBA, like, everyone's, like, Brunson is, I think, a
just-
good player. I think it's so cool. His game is so impressive for being
No,
6'1".
But I'm
But-
just thinking about it like this. Think about if you had like a fantasy draft and you were just like, yo, who's my top 3 guys, right? Like you were just like think about it, you're just drafting leagues and you're just drafting players and you're like, and you're gonna tell your friends like, yo, think of who my top 3 players are. If you're just like, yo, they're Jalen Brunson, Cat, and then who's like their 3rd best player? Bridges, who's not even an all-star. Like he's never probably gonna be an all-star.
But people think, like, Cat's, like, a good
No,
player.
Cat is good, but like, it's just like, dude, Brunson. Like, I don't think either of them are number ones. So then it's like one of them has to be.
You
the
don't think
number
Brunson's number one?
Bro,
Dude, he was
come
playing like a number
on.
one last year.
No, he is a number 1 on the Knicks, but is that going to win you a championship? So what I'm trying
No,
to say,
hell no.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, if you're like, yo, I got my top 3 guys, they're Brunson, Cat, and Bridges, you're gonna be like, dude, you're gonna be crazy. No,
Well,
it's nice. It's not bad. You're gonna make the playoffs. but
once again, I think it's crazy. I think Devin Booker, I guess I'm becoming like a disgruntled fan, but Devin Booker and KD need to get like, and Beal. Beal, get him. But Beal needs to effing retire, man. Like,
he
I'm
ain't retiring. He got $50 million a
No,
year.
bro,
He ain't
screw
retiring
that.
from that.
Dude, he hasn't done jack shit
Yeah.
for 10 years.
Well, that's blame Washington. Why are you giving Bradley Beal 5 years, $250 million?
But dude, he's such a non-factor. When has anyone ever been talking about Bradley Beal?
Not since Washington.
I don't know.
Like,
Sometimes it's tough because every once in a while too in the playoffs, like I was seeing Devin Booker. I'm like, oh wow, is Devin Booker like playing defense? And Devin Booker's like a pretty big trash talker now. But I'm like, you have 3 of you, and I guess who was the most unhealthy out of those 3? Beal.
Yeah, but in my opinion, what didn't work with Phoenix is that's the same thing too. It's like yo, if you're building a fantasy team, like that makes sense. But even think about it like legit as a basketball player. Like if you're like, yo, our 3 best players are like a score first 2 guard, a score first 2 guard who can play a little bit of D, and Booker. He's a little bit taller than Beal, and then a score first 3 guard, but he's also old. And he can't really play D as much.
Right,
Like,
but-
who's getting them buckets?
But that's the
Who's
Brooklyn.
making them
That's the
better?
Brooklyn thing, though. Is like what makes you think
For the
Kyrie, Harden, and
Because Harden can play. Harden can set people up. Harden was averaging 10 assists that game.
yeah,
That 3 is so much better than the Phoenix 3. Come on.
yeah, but
so much better. Just because
that
Kyrie
Brooklyn team-
and Harden are better playmakers than Booker and Beal. Which is funny though, because Booker was playing a little bit of point guard. You know, when he was
I was
younger.
going to mention that. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's just not his game anymore.
yeah. You need to.
Yeah, I don't know, something about KD, man. Like he's been through the Suns have been through
Put-
3 coaches.
They should have
last
put
3
like
years.
Lonzo on the Suns
Lonzo would be great on the Suns, bro. Great.
and just feed people. Is he on the Bulls?
Yeah, they just re-signed
So-
him for 2 more years.
I'm a sucker, man. I want that kid to play well. I like him.
He's been good this year. Yeah, he's been good. He's
Um,
been good.
dude, 4th and 5th seed. I think the Clippers could take that.
Well, I mean, Denver. Who knows what's going on with Denver? They just fired their coach too. I mean,
That makes no sense. Do you have any? Once again, I said this earlier. Taylor Jenkins got fired. I thought Taylor Jenkins was a pretty good coach. Like Memphis, obviously, like underachieved this year. But I can't believe.
did they like they were the number 2 seed at one point? Like who? Like be honest though.
Yeah.
Besides Houston, who on all these teams were you like, dude? They're like Memphis. Memphis should be ahead of them. Who?
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
didn't think the Lakers were going to be. I guess they're 3rd now. I thought the Lakers were going to like be once again doing a play-in.
Yeah,
but-
but I mean also there's like 2 games between all of these. Like if
Yeah.
if Memphis won 2 more games,
And
they're
that's
the 4th
just the
seed.
naturality of the West. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, even for Memphis too. Like I'm not feeling Memphis. Like same experiment. If I tell you like, yo,
John needs
I
to get
start
humble.
I start an NBA team and my top 3 players are Ja Morant, who Ja Morant by the way never plays. He was hurt all last year, and I think he's played like 40 games this year.
Is Desmond Bain actually good?
I think he's good,
can't
but
tell.
not as your number 2 wing or number 2 playmaker. Like
Who's
same
the-
thing with Triple J.
Oh,
But
'cause
like, Triple J, like
He's probably the second best player, right?
I'd say he's the second best value. He's their second most valuable player.
I
I'll
guess
say
people
that.
really don't want to go play for Memphis either. So.
Memphis got a bunch of players though. That's what I'll give them. Like the difference between Memphis and the Knicks is like the Knicks have like 6, 7 good players, but a lot of them get hurt, and obviously Tibbs doesn't play that much. But Memphis has like 10 guys who can play. Like they are deep. Like they got like G.G. Jackson. I think he's a rookie.
Oh,
he's a
yeah.
young guy. Like they got guys in the G League who can like hoop. But it's just like their number one, like Ja. Like I don't think he's a leader too.
Yeah.
He's not a leader. I don't think he makes anyone better. And the thing with them is like them and the Clippers. Like when you're best player, you don't know if they're gonna play every game. It's impossible to win a championship.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even with Tatum, at least when you know, like Jason Tatum, like even if he's a little, just like I just twist my ankle, you're like, dude, he's gonna suck it up and play. But like with Kawhi, like in Ja, sometimes you're just like, yo, you're good. Nah, I'm sitting this one out.
Yeah,
kinda.
that's why I really have lost so much respect for Kawhi over the last. It really was probably more than this, but at least the last 2 years. And like I've mentioned this before, and probably our first ever podcast we did is me and another one of my friends is a huge Harden fan, and I'm a Kawhi fan. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I
you told
like
me
I
that, yeah.
watched a lot of Clippers games like in the playoffs the last couple of years, but it's tough for me to. I'm like I almost don't want to get my hopes up because then I'll.
They could beat Denver, man. I mean, the Clippers are another team. They got like 9 guys. Like
Yeah.
they got. I mean, like
Yeah,
you said, Norman Powell. Norman Powell's like as your third best scorer. I mean, is he the third best scorer? Probably. But
I'm trying to think of who's in the starting lineup right now because it's Harden, Kawhi, Zubac.
it's got to be Powell's definitely in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
who else?
Powell
is
almost
on
made the
there?
All-Star team. Might be Derek Jones.
Oh yeah,
But I mean, Derek Jones is another guy who's just like solid, you know.
yeah, and I didn't.
Chris Dunn's another guy too. He's a good defensive.
Yeah,
player.
they got this guy.
Oh, Bogdanovich.
Yeah, that's
from
what I was just gonna
Atlanta.
say. Ben Simmons is on the team.
Simmons, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I know it sounds crazy. There is room for Ben Simmons to be to play on a team, but it's just
Oh, dude. I mean, obviously he's got the talent. Like, but Ben Simmons.
oh
man.
Chris Dunn. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Clippers could beat Denver, but then I don't think they're beating OKC.
yeah.
Like,
I didn't. Did I
think
say
the
this?
only teams that can beat OKC are. I mean, the Lakers could.
Is Jamal Murray hurt, by the way?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so Denver's-
Denver could beat anyone because
But why-
Jokic is that good, but
But why did they fire Malone?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I heard the coach
They
and the
dropped
GM
some-
were beefing, like because the coach obviously is like, or no, the GM, especially with the whole salary cap now, like if to have 3 guys like that with the big contracts.
Who's
we got,
the third?
Jokic,
Oh,
Murray.
Russell?
No. Russell makes like nothing. Russell makes like 2 mil.
I was-
Porter Jr. makes
Oh,
like
he got
40
paid?
mil. Yeah.
Oh, wow,
So-
40.
Dude, he's a huge contract. So they've been letting guys go, like KPJ. They let go. They let go Bruce Brown. And now they're
Bruce Brown thought he was the. No,
he was still good, man.
Yeah, no.
Like,
He wasn't terrible, but he wanted to get like paid crazy. I'm like, yeah, let him go.
bro, he only made he was only like
I get
15 mil,
Yeah. But then he asked for a lot of money. I thought,
but he
wasn't
signed for 15 mil, I think, for Toronto, or no,
Yeah.
Indiana. But yeah, like they're relying on their young guys. The guy the GM drafted, so like Chris Brown, I think Peyton something. They got a
Peyton-
couple guys.
Yeah.
But they pretty much he wanted them Malone to play the young guys, but Malone's like, dude, I got a guy like Russell Westbrook. I want to play him, and I think that's where the kind of
How was his fit in Denver, Ben? Because
Russell?
I haven't watched a lot of
he
it.
had a really bad game
Yeah,
like a couple
Wha-
weeks ago.
Could you explain that? What
against
was?
Minnesota? He missed like a layup at the buzzer, or maybe not the buzzer, but like fast break layup, and then I think he fouled someone
On a
at-
three-point
a
shot, that's
three-point
what it was.
Yeah, and that's how they lost the game.
Jeez.
So
Were they down by like? Was it tied and then they?
Yeah,
They
it
won
was
by
like a
3
double
throws,
overtime.
essentially?
Yeah, but
Sheesh.
But yeah, I mean that was against Minnesota, who Minnesota beat them last year. So it's just this like, yo, we got your number too. So like Minnesota, they're not scared of Denver at all, at all. But that was, I think they went on like a 4-game losing streak, and then I think they fired their coach.
So who are
But
the second and third best players on Minnesota then?
Minnesota, I mean you got Randall, obviously.
Yeah. He's
Naz Reid. I'd still put Naz Reid in there.
he can
Gobert.
shoot, huh?
He's got handles too, man. Naz Reid can handle.
He's an
the ball.
interesting player.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh yeah.
He can hoop. They got
Okay.
the rookie. The rookie's good too.
Yeah.
Dillingham. He's nice. I think they still
Oh,
got
Rob
Conley.
Dillingham.
He's
Yeah.
nice.
That guy can
Conley,
finish. Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels, who could play D.
Okay. Yeah. All right. One thing I didn't mention earlier too. This is kind of jumping back over the East. Cleveland won 65 games.
Yeah, man.
So-
Cleveland was healthy
So
though.
they
too.
lost. So that must have been 65 and 17 for
OKC
82,
though.
right?
OKC, I think had a better record. I think they had the best record. I think they won like 68 or something, or maybe 67. But yeah, Cleveland was number one for a minute. They
68 wins, dude. That's almost like history.
yeah, man. And OKC blew away a lot of teams.
What was our record against the Thunder?
We were 0-2. We lost in OKC without.
I watched that game in OKC. Yeah.
I think they were healthy. We were up though the whole game. The first half we were up by like double digits, and then we blew the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter we were playing way too confident. They were playing like the underdogs, and they just had more energy than us. And then the game in Boston, we didn't have KP, but they didn't have J Dub. And then, honestly, Shea was just the best player on the court. It's funny though, if you look at their stats.
Yeah.
Like I went to the game with my brother, I was like, if watching the game, every single person says Shea's the best player on the court. But I was like, if you look at the stat line, Tatum had like, I think just as many points, had like double the amount of rebounds, double the amount of assists, shot better. Like, it was just this weird, but just the bucket Shea got, dude, were just like, yo, perfect defense, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The only series it seems like we haven't really mentioned is Pacers Bucks.
yeah, that one's tough though, cause about the Dame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Indy's
you-
been playing good though. And Indy beat him last year too.
Don't you think the Pacers, they seem like a little fiery though? I hate to admit
Yeah,
it.
man. Halliburton got his swag back. He was really
Halliburton
bad
thinks
to
he's a
start.
lot better than he is though, because I'm like, he hasn't done jack in the playoffs either. I'm still.
What? They just got to the conference finals though. Like, come on. Like even we're talking about
We
Joel.
swept them though.
Bro, okay, but that's still Halliburton only played 2 games, and that was too tough. Like that was a sweep, but that was the toughest series they probably had.
Yeah, but Halliburton's
mean?
been in the league for a while though.
Not really. 2000, same year as LaMelo, I think. 2020. It's not like he's a vet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but,
I don't know. I'm just kind of. I
I'm-
guess I have. I feel like last year, like everyone was kissing the Pacers.
But even think about like doing that same exercise. Like if you're like, yo, I drafted an NBA team. Who's your 2 best players? Halliburton and Siakam. You're like, okay.
Because it's not
Like,
Turner.
You know what I mean? No, but even if your top 3, I
like Mathurin though. I do like him.
He's gonna be. Hopefully he'll be nice.
He's
He
gonna
got
be
hurt
like a
last
Jalen
year,
Brown, I
but
think.
he's a little bit smaller, I think. But he's a dog, man. He talks. He talks hellish. Neesmith's, he's one of those
dude.
dudes too.
Neesmith talks so much. Dude. He's still mad at the Celtics. But then
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you never did anything when you
He
had
so
some
many
playing
choices,
time,
bro.
dude. You had.
He had so many chances.
I know, but last year, like, just when if we're probably not going to play the Pacers, right? The way that
No,
I'm looking at
they'd
it.
have to beat Cleveland. They'd have to beat
Yeah.
Milwaukee and Cleveland. So
I kind of want to play the Knicks, though.
I would love to beat. I'd rather play the Knicks.
When was the
than
last time we played the
Pistons.
Knicks in the playoffs?
2012 maybe. It was we lost. Rondo got hurt. It was the big threes last year. It was that was Melo's like best Knicks team. Like J.R. Smith was 6 man. They had Jason Kidd. They had Baron Davis.
Yeah.
They had Tyson Chandler, Amari,
Yeah.
Shumpert.
What do you think about him getting into the Hall of Fame?
Much as
Melo?
I was a huge Melo guy growing up, so Melo was like Melo was just cool, man, to me. Like, his game was so smooth. His jumper was smooth.
He always had a really interesting shot for him because it was
but still, man, it was just something
I've mastered
about
it really
man.
well on 2K.
Like, when you think about his game, though, like, it was so, like, especially Denver. I mean, New York, it was so, like, bully ball. Like, just tough.
very, very physical.
But then he had this just, like, silky smooth jumper.
That's what was,
you know what I mean? It was just such an interesting, like, game and stuff. And he played his own way, man. So, yeah. Melo, much deserved, bro. Much deserved. He obviously could have been a better
He was
player.
worried about getting in, actually. Did you hear about that?
He got kind of blackballed, man. Like, Houston picked him up. Houston was like, yo, do this thing. And then he was actually doing this podcast. And he was like, they pretty much said, like, we're allowed 12 mid-range shots a game, and they were like, this is who gets to shoot the mid-range shots. And I think Melo was allowed 2 per game. And then Chris Paul got, like, the rest.
Oh, because that was Mike
the
D'Antoni, like, 3 and
then he said the first preseason game, he was like, I get the ball. He's like, I take 1 mid-range shot, and then he's like, I make it. He's like, the coach is like, don't do that. And Melo's just like, dude, this is how I play. He's like, I don't mind shooting threes, but he's like, I need to shoot a couple mid ranges before
to get going.
Like, dude, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I can't just start shooting threes. I was like, I need to get the mid range going a little bit, then I can start opening my game up.
Unless you're my friend Robert, like he just
man. Robert can let it fly, but like that's never been Melo's game.
Yeah,
so
I've always needed to. That's how I get going in basketball games. I would need 3 throws, or I need to get a layup.
Yeah. So and then he finally Portland picked him up, but
yeah, I was gonna mention that. So,
but and I guess even Dame was a huge like yo, pick up Melo.
I was excited about that, and then it came out of nothing. Melo couldn't play. He never played D though.
Nah, but I mean he was so good offensively.
But even Kobe respected Melo. So
a lot of people did, man. A lot of people in that era. There's a lot. Like I think Paul George said on the podcast that was his toughest cover. I think
Melo.
He said Melo, yep, without even
Paul George had some times where he really played well, or he D'd up against LeBron well, which is so interesting because like people look at like Paul George now, and I used to love Paul George. He's like I feel like he's super like soft now or whatever, just in general the way he plays, the finessing. But I was like, dude, you used to the first time I started watching NBA was when Pacers were in Miami.
Yeah, with Lance and George Hill, David West, Roy Hibbert.
I was gonna say Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, man.
He was a giant, man.
Nah,
that was a big boy.
That's one of my favorite players. Like that Indiana Paul George, 24 before the injury,
dunking on Birdman.
That injury was like one of those like, yo, I remember where I was when like.
I can't believe he could still play, man.
And he's had a great career. Honestly, a good, interesting.
I wouldn't say great career. Paul George.
Come on, man. You got to think though. Paul George is the.
I'm not saying it was bad. Like
Paul George was the 13th pick, and look at what he's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was top 3 in MVP when he was in OKC. Like
I'm just saying, like Tatum is
a better.
Tatum's a better version of Paul George.
Yeah.
And Paul George is still a better ball handler than Tatum. I will always talk about Paul George's ball handling skills.
But he doesn't. But he's never like really used it. He's never used it as much as Tatum. Like he doesn't like Tatum runs pick and roll, bro. A ton of pick and roll.
Yeah.
Like Paul George never really run pick and roll. And the thing about Paul George too is he straight up was just like, I want to be a number 2. I mean, he kind of was in OKC the first year. The second year he was a fucking beast.
I was always wondering if he went to go to the Lakers. I'm like, I wonder what had happened there.
But he went to the Clippers and straight up like, I want to be the number 2. Kawhi's the guy. Like
he should, as he should.
Well, I mean, but you should have been number 1 if Kawhi plays half the games. Like, you know what I mean? So,
one of the final question, I guess. Is this the last year that like? Well, I guess the Suns didn't make playoffs, but is this the last year that like LeBron and Steph have a chance of winning a title?
Oh, definitely not LeBron. I mean, LeBron plays next year just because they got Luka. So, like I said, that's the scary thing about the Lakers. The Lakers will have a better team next year because they will get a center. They have no center now.
I guess we never really touched on J.J. Redick either, huh?
I think J.J.'s been good. Yeah.
I love how he's accepted that, like, I'm a pissed-off coach role.
Yeah, but Steph, I mean, I think Golden State's got one more year because I think that'll be Jimmy's. Jimmy's like, I got a full season here. I think Draymond's got one more, in the tank, and then I think Kuminga. And that's the thing too, is if they really wanted to, they could still trade Kuminga and some of those guys to get another like guy in his prime on the team. If Kuminga isn't it, because they didn't really give up much to get Jimmy. It was pretty much Wiggins and Schroeder, and I think like a pick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Still got Gary Payton. I mean, he's still a good defender.
Yeah. He's fun to watch, just running around.
It's kind of weird though that Clay's not there. I feel like that's kind of
Clay's kind of faded off into existence.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe Dallas Kings. We'll see what happens.
Dallas, man, they're it's freaking Davis and Clay.
I love how Davis goes over there and immediately gets injured.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
He had a good couple. I think the last couple games he's had a good couple games.
Yeah.
AD,
well, hey man, this has been great. We did an hour and a half on NBA. Anything else to talk about? Thanks for stopping by. It's always good seeing you.
Man, go C's. That's all I got, brother.
Yeah, and I, as I continue to lose this weight or whatever, eventually I'll come and play the 4v4 league you got going on at FitLab.
Oh, yeah. That's been going pretty well.
And you saw my comment, man. I was like, damn, I'm seeing Jalen highlights all over my Instagram.
Yeah, no, we're doing pretty well.
Nothing I haven't seen before.
Maybe won 2 or 3 games, but yeah, it's pretty nice.
Are you doing fives at NBA or NSA or anything?
I'm still playing with Elias. That's Rob's guy. He's been hooping, bro. He's in both of our leagues.
Oh, yeah?
In Big Four, he's been actually in the post. Last game, he probably had like 26 points.
Holy
but
cow.
like posting guys up.
Little Elias.
Yeah, man.
Not so little.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to think who else. You ever play with Alex? Bigger, looks like Thor.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, I got him in my NBA. My brother's playing. Alexis still.
Yeah, I see Lex every now and then at the gym.
And Lex is saying Lentz might be healthy for.
Dude,
next
yeah,
month.
he got surgery. Mike got surgery, right?
Yeah. So he's like, yo, Lentz is he's like he might be playing next session.
Dude,
so.
if Lentz is playing next session, like I need to go get my together because
I'll
we'll run it back.
I'll hit you up. Just maybe you fill in a couple games.
Yeah.
So no pressure, and then you could just, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah. Cool. That sounds good, man. I'll be in touch about that because I definitely I miss playing ball and golf doesn't fill that hole that ball did. So
cool, brother.
Cool. All right, man. Thanks.
All right, bro. Thanks, man.
Cool. See you guys.